Star Wars Celebration just started off in London, and man, another disappointment has happened. We just had a new episode of The Mandalorian featuring Lizzo and Jack Black, and now they're laying this shit on us. Having, of course, Kathleen Kennedy, the one that everyone loves, announcing all Star Wars upcoming projects that are being worked on, but the major one being Daisy Ridley returning. This is just proving that the people behind the scenes running these companies, specifically Lucasfilm, just don't know what the fans want. The sequel trilogy tainted many fans' enjoyment of this universe, but Lucasfilm decides to say, nope, we are going to continue to double down, and in this case, it is being Rey. Which I'll never forget when they tried to ship Rey and Kylo together, and you had all those weirdos that were loving it. Having this new Rey movie now being set 15 years after the rise of Skywalker, and guess what? She's going to be rebuilding the Order, the damn Jedi Order, spitting on Luke Skywalker because that is what he was supposed to do, making him not being able to accomplish or achieve that task, and now more than likely, we're going to have Rey accomplish it. Continuing to double down on the sequel trilogy when we had past rumors that Disney was possibly going to erase that whole trilogy and focus on other things. And well, that ain't happening no longer. And here is the timeline that Disney Star Wars will be focusing on, all the way back to the Old Republic, which is something many want to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets completely ruined. It's Disney at the end of the day, and they're incompetent beyond belief, and we're also going all the way to present-day Star Wars, which is poo, focusing on the rise of the First Order. Having two other movies that are being made, having Dave Filoni making a more present Star Wars movie that goes alongside The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. And for anyone that has been watching The Mandalorian, you've been noticing that they've been focusing on cloning and introducing that female villain, all to tie into the sequel trilogy to have it make sense. And I wouldn't be surprised if Filoni is once again going to have to focus on bridging the gap, especially if Lucasfilm wants to continue the sequel trilogy storyline, which they do. And you're also having Mangold making another movie that is going back 25,000 years, which is the origin of the Force, and of course, having Chinoy taking the cake in making a movie that is set 15 years after the events of the Rise of Skywalker, focusing on Rey. This is what happens when you have Kathleen Kennedy being president over at Lucasfilm, a person that has brought no value to the name of Star Wars and seemingly will continue to do so. And Kathleen Kennedy chose the right person for the job, that being Chinoy, directing a Rey movie. All you have to do is search her name up and read her About Me section on Google. Sharmeen Abide Chinoy is a Canadian journalist, a filmmaker, a activist known for her work in films that highlight the inequality for women. This is all planned. Do you really think Disney and Lucasfilm, out of all companies, would decide to not choose an activist? Because she fits this scenario like a glove within their work culture, and especially directing a new upcoming female Star Wars movie. I don't think that this movie will be entertaining in the slightest and will have messagings in it. Whether it's Rey being a female boss who is overpowered, being the strongest Jedi to ever live, continuing on that storyline, or simply that she doesn't take shit from no one and does her own thing. And Chinoy has brought awareness to women inequality in her movies, focusing on hardships, which are real messages. Maybe she will make the character of Rey more grounded and realistic, but I don't think so because it's Disney at the end of the day. And Kathleen Kennedy continues to take the cake when it comes to her reign and bringing more unwanted Star Wars onto the screen. You may like what you're seeing with these announcements, with Rey coming back, but you also can't deny that the vast majority of the fan base disliked the sequel trilogy. And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau themselves are starting to show that they can't sustain with making quality Star Wars, especially seeing the downgrade in the new season of The Mandalorian. And who on earth thought that it was a good idea to bring Lizzo, a singer who doesn't know how to act, and Jack Black into Star Wars? This is truly the end of Star Wars, and once Kathleen Kennedy does decide to step down, do you really think that things will change? She may be steering the ship over at Lucasfilm, but she still has her crew that support her. And especially Disney as a company isn't going to be changing their minds anytime soon with the way they run things. And with all that in mind, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.